Tonight, a new campaign targeting drink driving launched in South Australia. And a Whyalla man missing for 4 days found alive.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. South Australian Police have launched a hard-hitting ad campaign targeting selfish drivers who get behind the wheel while under the influence. It follows a raft of motorists being caught drink driving in the York Mid-North region over the weekend.
A controversial new SAPOL advert set to create conversation for those who do the wrong thing on the region's roads.
I don't care, my missus got to drive me around if I get caught.
The campaign is targeting the 20 to 40-year-old age demographic.
The new phrase, drink drivers are selfish pricks, may offend the sensibilities of some people.
York Mid-North Police fed up and frustrated after catching a number of drink drivers over the weekend. This included a 41-year-old Clare woman who reversed into a bollard on Main North Road Saturday night. She recorded a blood alcohol reading of .284, nearly 6 times over the legal limit. A 42-year-old Wallaroo man also caught Saturday night on the Copper Coast Highway, recording a blood alcohol reading of .109.
Look, it's very disappointing. We continue to catch people drink driving, drug driving in a community.
Now police will be redirecting their attention to the Easter period, with many travellers expected to flock to the regions.
Geared up for increasing traffic into our region. If you wish to drink and drive, we ask you to leave your vehicle at home.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Emergency services have today responded to a serious crash involving a person and a train in Port Augusta. Police say they were called to a rail bridge near Redcliffs Loop Road in Port Augusta at around 2:20 this afternoon after reports a motorbike had crashed into a train. Initial reports suggested the rider was seriously injured and was expected to be rushed to hospital for treatment. Sanjeev Gupta has reportedly asked the British government for a bailout. The BBC says Mr Gupta asked for around $300 million to help pay day-to-day operations in the UK. Senator Rex Patrick says the news adds to the uncertainty of the situation.
I have been to the Whyalla Steelworks. I'm confident that they're operating in the black, but many things are outside the control of the people who are working hard in Whyalla.
GFG refused to comment, but previously said the Whyalla Steelworks had not been impacted. Whyalla local Donald Kane has been found this morning after being reported missing last Thursday. His family working with police and SES to actively search the city over the weekend, while remaining hopeful for his return. Sophia Contagonis has the story.
Police and SES were out in force over the weekend, looking for a well-known member of the Whyalla community known as Barry.
Copper House Court alerted us at about 4:45 on the Thursday evening, and since then we've been searching.
Known to be at risk of escaping, Mr Kane's family says he was found this morning at a recently vacant house on Bevan Crescent. Neighbours hearing noises next door alerting the police to check it out. His family says he was found safe and well, but was sent to the Whyalla Hospital with dehydration and mild hypothermia. His grandson Michael says his family is extremely grateful for the support from SES and police.
We've had Pole Air with a helicopter and a small plane as well, which had heat map technology and that sort of thing. Also had the mounted police with the horses yesterday as well.
The Whyalla community also rallying together, with the news of Barry's disappearance spreading over social media. Some locals even sharing maps of trails they searched over the weekend.
The families are very grateful and overwhelmed with the support.
Barry has now been reunited with his family.
A 30-year-old Port Pirie woman has been arrested after allegedly breaking into a business Sunday morning. Just after 4:15, the property on Grey Terrace was targeted with a number of items including mobile phones, smartwatches and TVs stolen. Police are now urging landowners to lock up over the Easter holidays.
We can't stress the importance of, while this business was certainly well secured, particularly over the Easter period, we need to remind business owners the importance of securing their business premises.
She was refused bail and will appear in Port Pirie's court. Home solar owners could soon be charged for feeding electricity into the grid, following a draft report from the National Energy Commission. But local households say they shouldn't have to pay for generating their own power.
For this local, making the switch to solar was a great incentive to drive down energy bills, but he and other owners could be charged a feed-in tariff as the grid is congested with power traffic jams.
After incentivising us, they want to basically put a tax on us, and I think that's just damn wrong.
The Australian Market Energy Commission releasing their draft report, saying changes are needed to make renewable energy production more sustainable.
We modelled some numbers in the report that, a mid-range solar system would still earn $900, down potentially $70 per year from this charge.
South Australia's Energy Minister says while this is not a state government initiative, it will be making a submission on the proposed reforms.
I have a strong belief that people who've invested in their solar and have it working, they should largely remain unchanged. And if the Commission wants to make some changes, then it should apply to new solar installations from now on.
If we need more system stabilisation, put more batteries in. But why do we have to pay? We are saving the government millions.
The draft report is open for public consultation until May 13, ahead of the final report in June. Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, we chat one-on-one with opposition leader Peter Malinauskas. And confusion grows about Dine and Discover vouchers in New South Wales. Welcome back. South Australia's opposition leader Peter Malinauskas says regional areas need greater investment. With the state election 12 months away, he says Labor can offer a better deal, despite polling poorly outside Adelaide last election. Nathan Regter spoke with him today.
Peter Malinauskas, you've been happy to criticise the government, but with a year to the election, what are you promising people in the regions?
Well, I think the people of regional South Australia want to see a plan from the state government first and foremost for jobs, but not just a plan for jobs at places like Lot 14, which is in the city, but a plan for jobs throughout the state. And that's certainly been a core focus of mine from day one, and that's exactly why I've announced significant policies already, like the Hydrogen Jobs Plan, which is about delivering industry for our state, and much of that growth and that opportunity exists in regional South Australia as it does in Metropolitan Adelaide.
Do you know where the hydrogen power station will be built? Will it be here on the EP? The Cape Hardy development says it would be an optimal spot, whereas Eddie Hughes says Point Lowly would be preferred.
We'll be announcing the location of our hydrogen production facility and power plant before the next election. There are another number of options that are available to us, and that includes places around the Upper Spencer Gulf and on Eyre Peninsula. That is something we are working through at the moment.
Surely you've planned it this far. Why can't you tell us where it's going to be built?
Well, because we've got 12 months until the next election, Nathan, and we've put a lot of hard work in this policy over the last 2 years, and we're actively going through all the options in terms of where it will be built. But like I said, we'll be announcing that before the election.
Have you pre-selected candidates for the seats in the region? Flinders, Stewart, Frome? You've been showing off your city candidates a lot.
No, we are in the process of pre-selecting seats right across the state, both metro and regional, and it's something that we're taking very seriously. I think a lot of people in regional communities are frustrated they haven't seen any change as a consequence of the Marshall Liberal government. I mean, let's look at infrastructure, for instance. The state government's committed $8 to $9 billion to 10 kilometres on South Road. They've committed $700 million to a new basketball stadium in the city. They've committed hundreds of millions of dollars towards an Aboriginal art gallery at Lot 14. I mean, so much of this government's agenda is entirely city focused. And what we haven't seen is much delivery in terms of infrastructure in regional communities. And I think that's because the South Australian Liberal Party for a long time has felt as though they can take votes for granted in the regions.
Finally, you only hold one seat in this region as it stands. Do you think you have a chance at the other seats?
Yes, we've got a keen eye on Stewart and the next state election, amongst others. And we say that because we know that Labor's record on delivering from the regions actually matches up quite well, whether it be an investment in country health, whether it be investment in roads, whether it be efforts to save the Port Pirie smelter or the Wireless Steelworks. Labor's got a proven record about wanting to see jobs in regional South Australia. And what the current government tends to give regions is lip service.
There's been a backflip on limitations placed on Dine and Discover vouchers, which can now be redeemed 7 days a week. They're welcomed by Broken Hill businesses. The change is adding yet more confusion to the rollout.
It's a program to get us out and about, reviving the hospitality and tourism industry. From day one, there's been issues with Dine and Discover, but now another step in the right direction.
A lot of people do want to use them on the weekends, but also it was confusing because they weren't aware that they couldn't.
Limits on the days vouchers can be used lifted, with public holidays now included.
With the tourist season right on our doorstep, I'm looking forward to a really bumper season.
While businesses not registered for GST can now become part of the program.
We were told yes, businesses below 75 grand can be part of this program if they are registered for GST, but all you're doing then is you're drowning small businesses in paperwork.
Broken Hill was a guinea pig for the scheme last month, small businesses raising concerns back then.
Yes, it's taken a while, but we've continued the campaign, we've continued the lobbying, and at least now a lot of our issues have been addressed.
Printed vouchers are also available through Service New South Wales.
If they could make it a little bit more accessible to particularly the older ones who aren't tech savvy.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
New branding has been revealed for Whyala's new secondary college, with the logo featuring colours which represent both land and sea. The incoming principal says the design fits effortlessly with the school's architecture.
This is the new contemporary design defining Whyala's secondary college.
I'm so excited that finally the Whyalla community gets to have a look at what our logo is.
The Education Minister says it was developed with input from the broader community. It features an earthy colour palette with the letter W for Whyalla.
That was really important to me, that in some way that W represented Whyalla and the Whyalla community.
I can only imagine there's a lot of excitement from kids that are going to be attending this school as early as next year, and I think everyone involved in the project should be really proud of their work.
Principal Tricia Richmond says the launch of its logo and motto highlights the school's values of inclusion, innovation and integrity.
We actually went and spoke to all of the year 5, 6 and 7 students in each of the primary schools. So we got a lot of information from them and found out what was really important to them.
The government says the school's construction is running on track, with work now underway on designing a uniform.
To have a name, to have a logo, to have some colours, and now more importantly working with a uniform designer around designing what our uniform will look like is really exciting.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us, we meet the Port Augusta student who has secured a UniHub scholarship. And Broken Hill's footballers return to the field for the first time in more than a year. One local UniHub student has received a financial boost to his tertiary education, securing a $20,000 scholarship from Lee Creek Energy. The partnership is aimed at creating opportunities for those seeking employment once they've finished their studies.
For Brett Wolford, furthering his education was always something he wanted to do, but it just never seemed possible.
Work commitments and family commitments don't allow me to do tertiary education.
That's now changed, with the student successful in receiving a $20,000 scholarship from Lee Creek Energy, allowing him to pursue a 4-year part-time associate degree in engineering through CQ University.
Just be recognised also with the application process right through to the award was it's an amazing feeling.
It's a first for the industry leader, with hopes the investment will create opportunities for local people once they finish their studies.
We wanted to develop the people from the region. We don't want to employ people from Sydney or Perth and just fly them in and fly them out. We want to employ local people.
As part of my commitment to the scholarship is to also do some work placement, both in Adelaide and Lee Creek out on site. So that'll give me some real hands-on experience.
The UniHub CEO saying she is proud of Brett's achievements, while also pleased to partner with local industry to make the scholarship possible.
This is a really great example of an employer who's prepared to invest in growing their own local skilled workforce, and UniHub's really pleased to be part of this initiative.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The story of trade unionist and Broken Hill icon Percy Brookfield has been brought to life over the weekend. The Sulphide Street Railway and Historical Museum hosting a dinner and orchestra under the stars on Saturday night. Local performers using train carriages to reenact his death a century on.
Come on, back on the train. Come on.
Brookfield was shot and killed while trying to disarm a gunman at Riverton in March 1921. One of his descendants among those attending the performance. It's been a long 18 months without footy in Broken Hill, but the revamped Jubilee Oval came to life on Saturday, hosting the much-anticipated Lightning Cup. Close results setting the stage for a hotly contested premiership season.
The first bounce since September 2019. North and West women's sides, the first to play in 18 months and the first to kick off at the new Jube. Almost 1,000 people getting back into the grandstands. The round-robin Lightning Cup, a sampler for the season ahead.
18 months is it's a long time, but it's good to be out, good to be running.
Western Central battling it out in the women's grand final. A tight game, Central soaring to victory after a second-half surge, topped off by a goal on the siren.
Talked about some things at half-time and that was fixed up, so it's really good, it's really positive.
Central and West opening the men's draw, but all eyes were on the two premiership teams from 2019. South showing they've still got it. Taking the win by 46 points and putting them in the grand final against West. In the decider, the scoreboard painted a bleak picture for the reigning premiers at half-time, but they fought back with a controversial call in the final minute, sealing victory.
As a spectator, it's awesome to get close games, but as a coach, no.
And if the weekend is anything to go by, 2021 could be anyone's year. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We will review the weekend's cricket action. And Alex Sykes will have the latest weather details. Hello again. Tasman Cricket Club has won the Port Lincoln Cricket Premiership after defeating Southern Air in the grand final. In a tough contest, they were too good for their opponents. Nathan Regter has this week's cricket wrap.
For 5 years in a row, these two teams have gone head-to-head in the cricket grand final. And with last year's competition axed, there was a lot riding on the weekend's game. Tasman won the toss and chose to bat first, with James Stockham and Bodie Forza the opening pair. Southern Air made a bright start, claiming the important wicket for Forza for a duck. Despite the setback, Stockham proved his worth, finding the boundary 9 times on his way to 54. Ben Smith was bowling well and eventually sent Stockham on his way, but Tasman's Andrew Frick and Mitchell Jude then set up the team for victory. Frick wowed the spectators with an impressive 10-run over in the 36th, while Jude batted a 6 in the 40th. Ryan Siebert bowling Frick out also for 54. Southern Air faced a tough chase of 203. They made a bright start with Jacob Watson scoring 16 runs in the second over. But a big catch from Jude saw Watson fall for 50. Tasman taking wickets at regular intervals, winning the premiership by 41 runs. It was red and white day all round, with Tasman also securing the B-grade title as well. So congratulations to the winner and commiserations to those teams defeated. That's another cricket season done and dusted.
Time to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John. It was a top day across our region today with the sunny conditions to continue over the next few days. From 3 p.m, Whyalla 25, Port Lincoln 22, Port Pirie 28. Port Augusta, Woodner and Cooper Pedy also all reached 28, Broken Hill and Clare both 24, Kadina and Cleve both 25 and Adelaide reached 21. Taking a look at the satellite image now, some low cloud is persisting over the lower southeast of SA and cool winds is only bringing the odd light showers. Skies are mainly clear under high pressure. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. East to southeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas below 1 metre, and south to southwesterly swell below 1 metre. Port Lincoln 26 tomorrow, Cleve 28, Woodner set to reach 31, Whyalla 27, Port Augusta to reach 31, and Kadina will top 28 degrees. Port Pirie sunny and 30, Clare 27, and Broken Hill a degree cooler with a max of 26. Taking a look further through the week now, those sunny conditions will continue on Wednesday with temperatures set to be in the high 20s to low 30s. Port Augusta and Woodner with the region's top of 33. Broken Hill and Port Lincoln will have the region's low of 27. Heating up further on Thursday, Woodner again to have the region's top of 35 and Broken Hill will have the region's low of 29. And sunny conditions across the top half of the region on Friday, set to be partly cloudy in Kadina, Port Lincoln and Adelaide. Temperatures again rising, forecast to be in the mid to high 30s. Anyone would think summer is back with those conditions, John, and that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Monday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.